Hello and welcome. Today we are tackling a massive question, one that every single product team on the planet wrestles with. How in the world do you decide what to build next? We're going to break down how AI is completely changing the game for product roadmap prioritization.
I mean, this is it, right? This is the core of a product manager's entire job. And if we're being totally honest, yeah, it really is. Building great products today is just incredibly complex. You're practically drowning in a sea of customer feedback, endless usage data, and competing demands from pretty much every department. That gut feeling you've always relied on, that trusty old spreadsheet, let's face it, they're starting to buckle under the sheer weight of it all. Okay, so let's really get into it. You can think of this whole challenge as a kind of road mapping crossroads, a point where your big picture strategy, what your customers are telling you, and all that internal pressure crash right into each other. And this is exactly what that crash looks like. You've got the sales team pushing, and I mean pushing for a feature to close some huge deal. At the same time, your customer success team is practically begging for a bug fix to stop customers from leaving. And all that amazing feedback you're getting from support tickets and interviews, it's scattered everywhere, making it almost impossible to connect the dots and see the bigger picture. This quote just nails it, doesn't it? When absolutely everything is a top priority emergency, there's no way you can step back and prioritize objectively. You get stuck fighting fires instead of building for what will really drive value in the long run. And look, we've all tried to bring some order to this chaos, right? We've used frameworks like Rice or Moscow. But the problem is, these methods often rely on us just scoring features based on our opinions. They can be super subjective, and honestly, they become a total nightmare to manage as your product gets bigger and more complex. So, if the old ways just aren't cutting it anymore, what's the answer? Well, this brings us to our second section. Let's talk about how AI can step in and act as a kind of clarity engine, helping us slice right through all that noise. So first up is something called natural language processing, or NLP. Just think of it as a tool that finds the real signal in all that noise. Instead of just listening to the loudest person in the room, NLP can automatically analyze all of your customer feedback, and I mean all of it, turning thousands of messy comments into clean, quantifiable data about what your users truly want. Okay, so once you know what your users are asking for, data integration helps you understand why. This is where AI really shines, connecting the dots between what people say they want and what they actually do in your product. It brings together feedback from surveys with your product analytics to give you one single unified view of reality. Now, with all that data connected, AI's real superpower comes out to play: pattern recognition. It can spot a rising trend across thousands of different data points that a human being could just never see. For example, it can figure out that 10 different customers, all describing a problem in 10 totally different ways, are all actually asking for the exact same feature. That's a game changer. And finally, when you put all that together, you get to predictive analytics. This is where AI helps you stop reacting to yesterday's problems and start proactively building for tomorrow's opportunities. It looks at all your history to forecast which new features are most likely to move the needle on your key metrics, letting you place much smarter bets. Okay, so the potential here is obviously huge, but how do you actually use this stuff? How do we go from these powerful AI insights to making a real impact on our roadmap?
Well, the good news is you don't have to build all this from scratch. There's a whole ecosystem of tools out there. You've got voice of customer platforms that are built to analyze feedback, behavior analysis tools that track everything users do, and of course, for more advanced teams, you always have the option to build your own custom AI models.
Now, here's a really critical warning. AI is not some magic wand you can just wave. If you feed it messy, incomplete, or biased data, guess what? You're going to get flawed, biased recommendations. That old saying, garbage in, garbage out, it has never been more true. Making sure your data is clean and actually represents your user base is absolutely fundamental. And that brings us to maybe the most important mindset shift of all: treating AI as an assistant, not as an authority. The goal is not to let some algorithm make all the decisions for you. No. The goal is to have a brilliant partner that surfaces insights for you, the human expert, to then validate, challenge, and refine with your own unique context, your empathy for the customer, and your strategic judgment. All right, let's make this super practical. How do you actually get started with this? Here's a simple framework you can use to begin building your very own AI-powered roadmap. The key here is just to start small and build some momentum. First, don't try to boil the ocean. Pick one clear, focused problem you want to solve. Then, take a look at the data and tools you already have. You're probably sitting on a goldmine and don't even know it. When you do pick a tool, make sure it integrates easily with what you're already using. And critically, always keep humans in the loop to review the AI's suggestions. And finally, tell everyone what you're doing and why, so you can get the whole team aligned and on board.
I think this quote just sums up the whole idea perfectly. This is not about letting a machine take over your job. It's about taking your strategic intuition, that gut feeling, and enriching it, supercharging it with powerful, data-driven evidence so you can make those tough calls with more confidence than ever before.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Is your current roadmap built for the past, or is it truly ready for the future? Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll be back soon to break down another complex topic.